excruciating suffering. This journey from Makkah to Medina was very difficult. And on this journey, there were people who found an opportunity to hop on the caravan and get a free ride to Medina. And there was a guy who went for the sake of getting married to someone in that city, which normally he wouldn't have been able to make that journey, he couldn't afford to do so. So he saw Muslims leaving Mecca, this was an opportunity, and he went. And the Prophet ﷺ used that man as an example, that whatever you do, you will have what you intended behind it. So it is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to give us examples. And the importance of this hadith, my brothers and sisters, how many of you have heard this hadith at least once in your life? Every action is judged. Let's do it reverse. How many of you have never heard of that? Every action is judged by its intention. 1, 2, any more? Anyone else? 3? Come on, put your hands up. Don't be shy. Who else have not heard of it? 4, okay, about 4 or 5 people. Alhamdulillah. Thanks to the organizers and myself right now, and you for being here. Those few people would have heard it today for the first time, and all of us gained the sadaqah jariyah that they will one day pass it on. And this will continue. Say alhamdulillah. Easy, good deeds. But you know what? The Sahaba, those who knew and understood the message of Allah through the Prophet, the holiest of moments and times, the times of suffering and difficulty, they understood best. And when the hadith was said to them, and later someone else asked and it was said to them, and then someone new came from another country and it was said to them, and it was related again and again and again, and it was written down again and again. Every single time, the most sincere, devout, they said, we would hear it as if it was the first time. Every time. Because they were listening with their heart, not their ear. When they heard the knowledge being shared, they pulled their heart out to listen. What benefit can I take and implement in my life today? I don't want to be a hypocrite. I want to be a person of action. What can I do to implement this knowledge? So they would hear the hadith as if it was the first time. Why? Because from the last time to this time, did they implement it 100%? Did you? Did I? And the insincere, those who are not here learning sincerely, it will go in one ear, out the other. Check yourself right now. Renew your intention. Why are you here? It's important to do that. Every few minutes. We'll continue to do so. Imam Shafi'i, he said this hadith is so important that it is 1/3 of all knowledge. 1/3 of all knowledge. It sounds like someone's just praising the hadith. Our English is weak. Our lingo is pathetic. Our understanding of it is just feeble. So to express a little bit more what this afar says, that it is 1/3 of all knowledge, what he means by this is that those who want to go away and study and learn and be scholastic, go away to learn how to practice this one hadith. You would have learned 1/3 of all of the knowledge. That's not a metaphorical statement. You need 1/3 of knowledge to understand how to implement this hadith. You need constant knowledge of who your Lord is. You need the pure knowledge of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. I spent 4 hours in a discussion, I don't like to call it debate, in a discussion with some Christian scholastics using the Bible and whatnot. And right at the end I told them I'm from Texas, and you know what? I spend every Sunday at church, so I know what you're telling me. And in that discussion at the end, I proved to them, I explained to them, you don't know what monotheism is. You don't know what Tawheed is. The science that the Prophet Muhammad taught for 13 years, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, before he moved on to other knowledge. That knowledge would enable you to constantly be conscious, have taqwa, have iman, have closeness to Allah, have khushu', the sweetness of khushu'. How we crave that. Those who don't know what khushu' is the sweetness that you feel inside of faith. When you've understood something correctly, and you realized and you found yourself getting closer to your Lord. Islam is based on these 3 fundamentals. This is from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He says that it is based on the hadith, actions are according to intentions, I've just shown you. Second is, whosoever introduces a newly invented matter affair into ours, that does not belong to it, it will be rejected. Anyone who introduces something new into religion, it will be rejected. And number 3 is truly what is halal is evident, what is haram is clear. And those things that are in the grey area, avoid them. These 3 narrations from the Prophet, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he says, this is the whole of your religion. This is the whole of your religion. These 3 things. Abu Dawood, he says 4. He says this one, actions are by intentions. The hadith of Aisha who said, the Prophet said, anyone who introduces something new that's not from our religion, he will have it rejected. The 3rd one is about wanting for your brother or your friend what you want for yourself. And the 4th one is this one, the halal is clear, the haram is clear. So Allah Azza wa Jal has made the religion, many people think you have to be a scholar to get close to your Lord. You have to learn all of these books and memorize so much. No, you don't. These 4 are sufficient for you. But you have to study it daily and you couple it with other knowledge. Study other books. When you learn new hadith, new ayat, new verses, new proofs, bring them back to these 4 and see how they apply. And you will find your deen complete. That advice is for people who are seeking knowledge to better themselves. But people who are seeking knowledge to bicker and argue, this won't work. They need to go memorize. They need to sit and memorize and come back and shoot you. That's different kinds of people. For those who are trying to better themselves, this is what they do. In fact, it was said, Muhammad ibn Saeed, rahimahullah, he said, they used to. Who's he talking about? The Sahaba. Because they didn't talk about anyone else. That was their favorite subject. They used to go out, like traveling, on a journey. They used to go to learn one etiquette for up to 2 years. They would spend 2 years going away from their town, their family. Like who would go away for 2 years to get a degree? They went to learn one etiquette that they read about. How are these etiquettes? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla created the Prophet ﷺ in the best etiquettes. He had the best manners. Life is about manners. If you show bad manners, don't claim to be pious. If you show good manners, then it's possible. And even then, leave it to Allah to judge. This is Islam. It is based on these things, and the hadith can be seen of these 3 criteria to help Muslims evaluate and judge when they say anything that is an act of ibadah in their life. Evaluate and judge your intention. Look at your internal actions, your intentions. You look at your external actions. What are your limbs doing? And then finally, judge, evaluate and judge our dealings, our mu'amalat, things how you deal with other people, etc. Or the intention also has 2 integral parts. And I'm going to leave the topic here, okay? 2 parts. The first is the intention before the prayer or ibadah, any act of worship. You make the intention before it. And the secondness is the willingness. The willingness is very important. There's a verse in Surah Ma'idah. There's another verse in the Quran. There's a few verses that talk about this is the perfect deen. Today I have completed your religion and I have completed my favor upon you. Or that those who love Allah and His Rasul, they will follow. Those who love Allah will love His Rasul. There's a reason for this. And they will follow Him. Because worshipping God requires an example. How to worship God. So we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Say it with me. And what's the second part? Louder. Yeah, non-Muslims listening. Do it again. It's embarrassing. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Yeah, I get witness for you, get witness for me. Easy good deeds. Don't be shy. These things you shouldn't be shy with. So, the first part is I bear witness there is no deity worthy of worship but Allah. Now you have to prove it. I bear witness Muhammad's example is the way. I must follow his example. And if your actions are following his example, then you are in belief of that. If they are not, then more likely you are in disbelief of that. That's why I want to purify our intentions today, my brothers and sisters. Feel the pinch. Don't lie to yourself. Don't pretend you're fine. If you were to die as you walk out of this room, a good friend of mine, a non-Muslim, he runs a big fun fair company. He said he was talking to his dad just as we're talking. And he said, give me this, give me that. And he said a couple of things. And he just kind of said, yeah, go on and get that. He put his head down like that. And he stayed that way. And he walked over and said, Dad, what's going on? He fell over. He was dead. Like that. You don't know when the time comes. So if you leave today and the time comes and if your life is over, are you ready to answer for your actions? Were they sincere for His sake? Your prayers, your good deeds, your hijab, your lahya, your iman, everything. Was it for His sake? The willingness is proof. Many people take a part of Islam and not other parts of Islam. Many people follow one part and not another part. This is an act of unwillingness. Some people will have problems with one aspect of the deen. I'll let you ask the questions. I'll stop there. But there are things that you and I both know that they wouldn't do. I'm going to give you an example of sincerity. One or two examples. But definition-wise, that's enough. One or two examples. We know how to increase our ikhlas, and it's to follow and increase more righteous deeds in following the Prophet. But many of us might be tricked from shaitan's whispering or our nafs, and we might think that that means I have to fulfill the whole sunnah. I have to do everything the Prophet did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I have to complete the whole of the religion. Then I'm a Muslim. No. What is in front of you?